Look, man, you want to get the girl, you got to get the money. And once you get the money, then you get the power. Once you get the power, then you get the women.
Yeah, welcome to Chuck Stew. I don't know what the fuck the problem is here with fucking stupid ass apartment complexes. Like, I went to just go pay my bill right now, and that shit is $90 over than what it's supposed to fucking be. I've been paying the same goddamn flat rate for like 8, 9, fucking 10 months now, actually, like 10 fucking months, because I moved out last December, and now I'm paying as much as my brother for some stupid fucking reason, unless they took me off the contract that it was fucking supposed to be on until, what was it, October 15th? They just took me off the fucking shit but didn't tell me. Like, my God, dude, my God, oh, say, can you see? Like, and I wonder why, when I was coming in there after I got off another hard shift at work, where we all had to leave at like fucking 4:45, when we were supposed to leave at like fucking 2:30 or some bullshit, because work just decided to fuck up again. The fucking woman who gave me my severance papers of that shit I agreed to because I thought I was going to be moving into a house a month ago, she didn't even fucking look at me. Like, she was scared that I was in there. I wasn't even at her fucking desk. I was at a different woman's desk. It's like that situation where they got fucking Wayne like all over again, but it's another person. It's like, no wonder they can't keep any fucking staff members at this damn apartment complex, or let alone any apartment complexes in Tucson if you really fucking think about it. It's just fucking straight up shitty, fucking shady shit all the time. Shitty, shady shit. She didn't say anything about my fucking money. Like, the price of the money was going to fucking go up for the amount of rent that was going to be due at the end of the month. She didn't tell me that shit over a month ago when I went to sign the fucking severance paper. She did not say anything, so I don't know why the fuck $90 extra is on my goddamn bill. Like, I'm just supposed to be fucking made out of money? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, be Tony Montana, stick people up, watch my brother get fucking chainsawed right in his fucking face and his leg? I'm supposed to just watch him die in the bathtub because I need the fucking yayo so I can make the $5,000, so I can fucking live here in peace and harmony, and I don't have to live on the goddamn south side to save a few extra bucks without some motherfucking stupid ass bird shit crackhead sticking a gun and holding me up fucking right outside when I'm trying to go to work? Alright, so before we get to the damn Brett Kavanaugh case where we all have to drag our fucking feet because no one can just be a fucking adult and just not do these mudslinging bullshit mind games, we're going to have the doctor be calling into the show today for the Chuck Stew Show. I'm sorry for not introducing myself. Fuck the apartment complex that I live in. Fuck them. Fuck them. They're fucking liars every single fucking time. There's always some bullshit. No matter where you live. Fuck apartment complexes. Fuck them. Fuck people that sell houses too. Fuck them too. Fuck realtors. Fuck the people selling them. Fuck them all. Anyways, we're going to be having the doctor call in. He's actually stuck in a business meeting right now at the, I don't know what university he's at. He's at one of them. He's been having this meeting that's been going on for hours, and he's going to be doing a 5-minute call-in where he's going to talk about the state of what I'm calling Milo's War, which is the state on just all university campuses that's been going on since Milo Yiannopoulos, Ben Shapiro, Gavin McInnes, and Stephen Crowder have so gracefully showed us why it's such fucking cuck bullshit and it doesn't need to fucking exist anymore. It needs to be exterminated. All universities either need to comply and conform to the way of how it's supposed to be or fucking be exterminated. You fucking listen to my show and you give money to any kind of university that's of any type of left-wing extremism, which is almost all of them. If you don't support Turning Point USA, go fucking fuck yourself, you piece of shit. And before I read this article about the Brett Kavanaugh court case with a stupid ugly ass bitch and her fucking Dr. Ford, who isn't even a fucking psychologist, let me just say this. This is how shit should go in our country. If Judge Kavanaugh did have sexual allegations where there was some kind of assault or battery, or he actually raped this woman, whatever the fuck happened 30 years ago, then they should fucking throw his ass in jail. That's just how that shit should be, and he should do a minimum of 15 years. Minimum. He cannot apply for parole before 15 years, and that shit should go up to about 30 years. If she fucking lied about it, and they found out in court that there is evidence suggesting that these 2 or 3 women lied about the fact that there was sexual misconduct, rape, assault, battery, whatever, then they should be thrown in jail for at least 15 years. So whoever was honestly wrong, their asses should get plunged down the tubes. So this journalist called Chadwick Moore, who is also the editor-in-chief, wrote today this, what I'm going to be reading to you guys about testing under oath before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Christine Blasey Ford identified herself as a psychologist, but records indicate that it was actually a false statement under California law. Someone at Stanford University also appeared to have caught the blunder and edited Ford's faulty page. So we're already seeing fuck shit as we speak. Fuck shit is afoot, as Blasphemous HG used to say. So I'm going to go ahead and read this before we get the 5-minute clipping. Even though the doctor of thugonomics here, Dr. Perlsey's book, is going to take 5 minutes out of his time from the university and the support meeting that he's currently in to send into the show, I will be playing after I read this. So just one sentence into her sworn testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee, I can't say that fucking word, regarding allegations of sexual assault against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford may have told a lie. After thanking members of the committee on Thursday, and while under oath, Ford opened her testimony saying, "My name is Christine Blasey Ford. I am a professor of psychology at Palo Alto University." Oh, look at that. I was actually, Chuck Stu was born in Palo Alto, California. I can show you fuckers my birth certificate. Anyways, Palo Alto University, I didn't even know they had a university. And a research psychologist at the Stanford University School of Medicine, quote unquote. The issue lies here with the word psychologist, and Ford potentially misrepresenting herself and her credentials, an infraction that is taken very seriously in the psychology field, as well as under California law. And I was actually thinking about this today, being that I'm not a psychology major myself, but I do study psychology and put out psychology and philosophy and theology videos on my other channel. But anyway, so I won't be calling myself a fucking doctor if I'm not one. Anyways, under California law, as with almost every other state, in order for a person to identify publicly as a psychologist, they must be licensed in the California Board of Psychology, a process that includes 3,000 hours of postdoctoral professional experience and passing 2 rigorous exams. To call oneself a psychologist without being licensed by a state board is the equivalent of a law school graduate calling herself a lawyer without even taking the bar exam. According to records, Ford is not licensed in the state of California. Recent search through the Department of Consumer Affairs License Bureau, which provides a state-run database of all licensed psychologists in California, produced no results for any variation of the spelling of Ford's name. If Ford at one time had a license, but it is now inactive, she would legally be allowed to call herself a psychologist, quote unquote, but forbidden from practicing psychology on patients until it was renewed. However, the database would have shown any past licenses granted to Ford even if they weren't active. Ford also does not appear to have been licensed in any other state outside of California since graduating with a Okay, so she's one of these people that it's like a fine arts degree bullshit just because they did some classes and whatever that we're supposed to fucking respect them when they're on the front lines pushing that stupid ass fucking cuck ass agenda when it's only on their campus. They're the same. So, okay, this is what I'm understanding. She's one of those professors, quote unquote, that was standing outside throwing fucking Molotov cocktails, fucking breaking police windows with rocks, and basically beating the living daylight shit out of anybody who's even had a shade of white in their skin during Milo's protest in the University of Berkeley. So that's what I'm understanding from this. You piece of fucking shit. Fuck Democrats. Fuck this stupid, non-doctor Ford bitch. Fuck everybody about Brett Kavanaugh. He's fucking innocent. I'm saying it right now. Hashtag free the damn man. Let him be the damn Supreme Court nominated Justice man. Anyways, Ford also does not appear to have been licensed. Okay, I already read that shit. She married her husband in California in 2002 and completed a master's degree in California in 2009. She reportedly completed an internship in Hawaii, but in search of Hawaii's Board of Psychology license database also did not show any results for Dr. Ford. What makes Ford's claims even more suspicious is someone affiliated with Stanford University appears they have also been aware of the potentially damning use of the word psychologist, quote unquote, and rushed to cover for Ford. Dangerous, the website, exclusively uncovered an archived version of Ford's page on the school's faculty directory. On September 10th of 2015, the only archived data available, Ford's faculty page was saved to the Wayback Machine and showed Ford listed as a research psychologist along with her email address and office phone number. Okay, the most recent version of that page Shows Ford listed only as an affiliate in the department, and the words research psychologist removed along Ford's email address and phone number. This suggests that the page was altered by someone very recently to scrub Ford's contact information and title after she entered the national spotlight. Oh my god, and here it is. Look at that. She's not even a psychologist. Look at that. Interesting. The plot thickens. I'm going to take a quick break here. My fucking throat's dry. Now, it is common, okay, for academics and researchers in psychology not to hold a license. California law does not prohibit anyone from engaging in research, teaching, or other activities associated with psychology if they are not licensed. So as long as those individuals do not use the word psychologist, quote unquote, when referring to themselves publicly. Fine, I agree with that. I'm actually fine with the California law on that. I agree with it. That's fine. Several searchers, I mean, if you think about it, Socrates, because he didn't have this thing right here, or back when Rob Bell was a pastor at Grand Rapids, Michigan, because he didn't have that paper. So that's fine. That's understandable. Get me a Coke, please. Several searches on California's licensing database reveal many of Ford's colleagues in the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Studies at Stanford that are not licensed psychologists in California, including the department chairman, Laura Roberts. Oh, that's weird. I work with a Laura Roberts, who identifies herself as an only professor. Of the unlicensed members of the faculty, which includes researchers, clinicians, professors, and fellows, none refer to themselves as a psychologist or psychiatrist unless they also had a license issued in California. Aside from potentially misleading the committee, Ford also appears to have violated California law. Oh, damn, you done fucked. California Business and Professional Code Section 2900 to 2919 govern the state's law for practicing psychology, and Section 2903 reads, no persons may engage in the practice of psychology or represent himself or herself to be a psychologist without a license granted under the chapter except as otherwise provided in this chapter, quote unquote. Section 2902 states, in paragraph C states, a person represents himself or herself to be a psychologist when the person holds himself or herself out to the public by any title or description and services incorporating the word psychology, psychological psychologist, psychology consultation, psychology consultant, psychometry, psychometrics, and psychometrist, psychotherapy, psychotherapist, psychoanalysis, and psychoanalyst, or when the person holds himself or herself out to be trained, experienced, or an expert in the field of psychology, quote unquote. This appears to include titles such as research psychologist. There is one specific exception to the law regarding the title of school psychologist, which refers to the school counselor who do not need to be licensed. School psychologists are legally forbidden from referring to themselves as simply psychologists, whereas the term research psychologist may be in common with academic parlance and permissible without accredited intuitions. The issue seems to be publicly presenting oneself under any title containing the word psychologist if a person is not licensed. Ford is a professor and a researcher, but not a psychologist. The section of 2910 of the law states, in quote, this chapter shall not be construed to restrict the practice of psychology to the part of persons who are salary employees and accredited or approved academic institutions, public schools, and governmental agencies if those employees are compliant with the following, which is going to be 1 through 3. Number 1, performing those psychological activities as part of the duties in which they were hired. Number 2, performing those activities solely within the jurisdiction or confines of those organizations. And last but not least, number 3, do not hold themselves out in public by any title or description of activities incorporating the word psychology, psychological, or psychologist, quote unquote. It is a known by Ford, 51 years old, a seasoned academic in the field of psychology, would have made such an obvious mistake unless she was unaware of the law or trying to intentionally mislead the public. And members of the committee, I'm going to go ahead and dump my bank account on that bet that she was trying to do that. I mean, if you really think about it, let's just go over this again, guys. Why did this not come out how many years ago? How many years has he been a judge? Now all the shit just happens to be coming out now when he's about to become a Supreme Court justice. Not like, dude, get out of here with that fucking lying bullshit. It's lying, cuck, satanic bullshit. Anyways, committee about her credentials in the field of psychology. Her bizarre testimony often veered off into psychological jargon about brain chemistry, memory storage, and how trauma affects the brain. Analysis would expect from a clinical psychologist rather than an academic involved in research. When asked by committee members of her most vivid memory from the attack that allegedly occurred nearly 40 years ago, let that part sink in. 40 fucking years ago, Ford responded, embarrassable. indelible in the hippocampus is the laughter, the uproarious laughter between the two men, and they're having fun at my expense? Referring to the part of the brain mainly associated with memory when discussing her trauma, Ford replied, the etiology of anxiety and PTSD is multifactorial. The incident was certainly a critical risk factor that would be a predicator of the conditions that I now have. Man, bitch, quit trying to make people think you're fucking smart using like all these, like, motherfucker, I have an IQ that's over 149. Like, I don't have to fucking talk to people like this. My God, dude. Oh, God, it's like that guy I used to work with. Like, that fucking God complex that he had. Like, you're trying to make people think you're so much better and smarter than you are. Fuck you, bitch. I don't have to make people think that. That's why I talk like a regular goddamn person. When my intelligence quotient is probably far surpassed yours, Dr. Ford, you stupid bitch. I can't rule out that I would have some biological predisposition in an anxious type person. Oh my God, unquote. Fuck this bitch. Yet, Ford's academic focus for years has been statistics, not memory or trauma. Okay? To look at her as some sort of expert in this area would have likely be asking his podiatrist about heart disease simply because he's in the medical field. Still, the media ate it up hours after. Yeah, because the fucking mainstream media fucking lies about fucking everything. PayPal took away the fact of his own people wanting to buy from the Alex Jones channel of buying his natural supplements. It's not in your fucking business. Like, and then PayPal just rips it away from them just because of this fucking stupid witch hunt, this bullshit media circus. Fuck him too. Fuck the dude that was on Dave Rubin who fucking runs PayPal. Fuck him too. Anyways, Florida as a psychologist praise fucking unquote praise her approach to science during the hearing, calling this the statistician an expert on issues more closely related to clinical psychology. The Washington Post, oh my God, the Washington Post, guys, here we go. Ran a headline that simply read Christine Blasey Ford, psychologist. The Atlantis headline read Christy Blasey Ford, a psychologist, testifies to Congress. Slate's headline reads Christine Blasey Ford's testimony combined with her own expert analysis on the situation in New Yorker, and you guys know where I'm going with this. From what this wonderful woman has written for us, Chadwick Moore, or if you're a man, I'm sorry. But this is actually written very well. I'm highly impressed with this. Of all the actual research this journalist has actually gone through to write about the simple fact that she said, I'm a psychologist, when he raised her right hand, told truth, all the truth, and everything but the truth, so help you God, and she fucking lied. Anyways, Ford's Wikipedia entry also identifies her occupation as psychologist, according to what fucking also Wikipedia also put on there about Pizzagate that shit's a debunked theory already, so we already know fucking Mark Zuckerberg and all those other Illuminati bastards are running fucking Wikipedia too, so you can't trust that shit either. Furthermore, Wikipedia, according to California, all these states are false. Ford is not a psychologist. The Senate Judiciary Committee is set to decide Friday on the date of Kavanaugh's confirmation vote. If Ford committed perjury, she could face up to 5 years in federal prison. Fucking punch her ass down the goddamn roots. That's what I say. You fucking bitch. Alright? Now I'm going to read this shit. But what we're going to do is we're going to be playing Dr. Pearl's Houston book. I got the shit right here. Stay tuned. Yes, we are fuck boys in the night.
This is a man. He's a man. I'm more animal than... No, wait, I'm more man. Welcome to the Chuck Stew Show. Welcome to Season 5, Episode Who Gives a Shit. And it's gotten really frustrating because I'm trying to donate a book to a prison on this website because I feel obligated to give tithes and offerings. The amount of money that I'm being paid at my job, I feel guilty about how much money I'm being made, even though it is thoroughly earned. Thoroughly. And it was just one big pain in the ass because that something unit, it was a unit of the prison, and you send it to the librarian if you want to donate your fucking book. I wasn't accepting it on Amazon for some reason as a shipping address. It finally did. I don't know why it did, because it stopped me about 3 times, but on the 4th attempt, I kind of clicked enter by accident, because what I was originally going to do was just say, okay, forget it, just forget it. I'm going to write it down on this piece of paper that I got from my job, I don't know, last week or something, as a note to put down the prison information down there. Oh, and then what do you know, it actually went through. So I don't know if it was God that he allowed me to send a book. It's a just a random Christian study book I found online. I want to do tithes and offerings, and I didn't want to buy another thing for myself, even though I actually donated, I don't know, about a third of my clothes, about 30%, 35% of my clothes I donated on Monday after work. Actually, I was going to tell a story about that on Chuck Stew, from old Chuck Stew here. I was pulling up to the mall, and when I was making a left turn, technically it was the other guy in front of me that was his turn, I guess. So, actually, I turned that off. It's going to be boiling in here while I'm doing an hour-long Chuck Stew show, because I got a lot to get off my chest, and I don't know how else to do it because I don't work out for another hour and 15 minutes. I want to go lift weights. And there's another thing. There's another story right there. So I'm packed chock full of stories this week for the old Chuck Stew show. The old so-and-so show that the people who are preferred pronouns are Nazis listen to. Anyways, I was coming up to the mall, and I was listening to Stained. Yeah, I know. Throw all the comments down how much you hate that man and hate me for listening to it. I kind of hate myself. And a guy was lifting his head up in the air, like saying, I couldn't understand what he was saying. I don't even know if the guy was like yelling in a different language in his car, because I cut him off. I put my hand, I said, sorry. So, you know, it totally was an accident. I go out of my way to be as most genuine, as much of a gentleman as possible when I'm living out my week. And this is October 4th of 2018. I actually recorded the first 18 minutes of last week's Chuck Stew, but the audio's all fucked up, so I don't know if I'm going to be uploading it or not. I'm not sure. I don't know if you people are going to be sure and listening to it, because when I bought this new laptop at Best Buy, it didn't really work out the way that I thought it was going to work out. I mean, when I bought it, I spent like $440 on this, plus insurance, plus this, plus that, all the bullshit, because, you know, they got to get their commissions. They got to get the commissions at Best Buy, just like at Fry's, just like at Safeway and Albertsons. They got to get a commission. So the thing is that when I got it home, I told him, look, he said, well, what do you use computers for? This has nothing to do with what I was going to tell you guys too, but that's just how my brain works. My stem goes to a different stem, it explodes. If I like something, then the second stem, I'll go to that, to the left, right, center, upwards, downwards, I don't know, I'm going somewhere though. So, my brain's all over the place, and this is just a talk show no one's going to listen to, so it's a podcast no one's going to download anyway, so who cares? Give a shit. And he said, well, what do you use your laptop for? And so I told him, well, I listen to a lot of music, I make some YouTube videos, but I don't need some stupid ass graphics card or something shitty that's going to cost half of what I made in the last 2 weeks at work, you know, so the editing can be like on point, so I'm like fucking iDubbbz or the old Filthy Frank or whatever. I don't need all that shit, or fucking that other guy I'm watching now, fucking Brad Taste of Music. I don't need all that shit. I like to keep it to the old punk DIY method, you know, with the black and white pictures and the sound and whatnot. I like to keep it gritty and real, and I like to keep it underground, and that's just my style. That's my thing. And the guy said, okay, and he was like, okay, well, what else? And I said, well, I need a CD drive because I like to burn mixtapes. I like to keep it fucking classy, just like Josh Peck, America's Greatest Actor, in the movie The Whackness. I like to fucking keep it classy, guys. I will listen to things on cassette tapes, too. That's fine. Beta, Laserdisc, whatever, as long as it's just not... I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Tidal or streaming music, Even if you're getting it illegally, I think my philosophy is with music, if you really, really like it, you should buy the record. If it's just going to be something that you listen to online, you don't really like it that much, but you kind of like it, you want to collect it, go ahead and illegally download it from YouTube or, I don't know, Pirate Bay or whatever it's called. Anyways, or anything, I don't know, off the Tor, off the .onion. Anyway, so I told him that, and he gave me that, but I forgot to mention to him that when I need the audio to work correctly, because when I record with Audacity on the computer, it doesn't work that well. When I tried to record demos for mixtapes that me and the Doctor of Thugonomics, Dr. Book, like to make on the weekends when we're not doing the Chuck Stew show, let me tell you something, it is really, really loud, and like it's the cheapest one possible that they put into the computer. I do not like it at all, actually, to tell you the gospel law truth there. But I don't want to upgrade it either. I don't really care. I was thinking about having this guy I work with at my job build me a computer. Except for the fact that he says, well, the cheapest I can do for you is like probably $850. It's like, I don't fucking have that much money. Like, I make good money, but I'm not spending that much money to read memes, like, and to fucking use Facebook. I'm sorry. To go on Reddit, like, I'm not getting shit to play like Diablo 4 or some shit, or World of Warcraft, or some stupid shit like StarCraft 2. The only games I would like to play is Total Annihilation, StarCraft 1, and Sim Ant, okay? That's how fucking Chuck 2 gets down. Alright? That's how I get down in the universe, the Squidiverse. Alright? So, anyways, back to what I was originally saying. I donated a bunch of my clothes, as I just remembered. Donated a bunch of the clothes. It's about 25% of my wardrobe. I think I actually donated more. So, anywho, I wanted to do that. And one of the shirts was this gospel shirt that I bought offline of this Christian, church website. Try to spread the gospel, but I didn't like how the shirt felt in the sleeves, because the sleeves hug onto your arms. And I like those t-shirts where it's kind of loose. I like to wear big shirts. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt right now that's black and says Orange Crush on it that I bought for $2 at the Goodwill. So, people thinking you're punk, like, when you're rocking a fucking anti-fascist flag going around with George Soros' dick up your ass, man, you can freestyle these nuts. Man, if you go down to Goodwill, or actually even better yet, Salvation Army, you buy your clothes there, that's real punk, okay? It's not that I'm gonna put a mask on with a swastika with the fucking feet through it, and, like, no, man, that's poser shit, dude. Like, fuck them. All those people giving me a shit because the fucking Smash Fascism DC bullshit put out his public phone number, put out his private phone number for his fucking house, dude. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you people, man? Like, that shit is bad. Like, what the fuck? It is fascism. Like, come on, man. It's just a pile of horseshit. Like, you guys have to know just the error of your ways. But I'm sure a lot of them don't, because I was reading about that thing. I was just talking to Dr. Book about it, because he had some opinions on this. I was just reading about the Blue Lives Matter protest that was going on. It was actually in March that turned into a riot up in Portland 2 weeks ago, and 23 members of Antifa, they got arrested, were all meth addicts. So, Chuck Stew here. I actually signed up to go join Antifa. I forgot what the website was called. It was something .gov. I don't know. It was like smashcapitalism.org. I don't know what it was. .gov. .transvestite cucks. I don't know. It was something like that. Something that had to do with that. And so like the ECW thing of like, we are the resistance, like join the resistance or something, join the revolution or whatever. So I put out all my information and I put down there methheadsocialist@gmail.com. Go ahead and connect me, guys. Like, man, fuck off with that shit, dude. They fucking fuck themselves, alright? It's like a beta male piece of shit. Like, anyways. So, Chuck Stew show week. Talk about what's been going on, opinions on things, because I needed a rant. I actually just wanted to tell you guys, I have not drank any energy drinks in a long time, about maybe 6 or 7 months. It's been a while since I bought a Monster or I bought Jokers back when, let's see, when was this? It's probably over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, when I used to live at my parents' house back when I was in a dark spiral. And I would go over to my brother's house during the day for about 4 to 5 hours to clean his house and then work on my novel, which was Zirconian Sky. Wait, no, it wasn't Zirconian Skies. No, it's called Kentucky Fried Girlfriend, and I also was working on another one called The Inside. Both of those were not finished, but anyways, I tried the novel format. I can't do it. For the people out there who don't know that Chuck Stu here is a writer, that is correct. I have my 6th book. Go ahead and, before I get banned, if people find out what I'm all about here, because pretty sure the First Amendment is, well, there's really no point bringing that up anymore because it doesn't exist anymore, because George Soros, one snap his finger, there goes an economy, boom, right there, I'm pulling money out of this one, destroy that providence over there, bam, a point, it's probably him and Alexander Soros. They get in a room, they find a point on the globe that's like a third world country that he has a lot of dirty money in, and they take a dart and throw it there. Bam, Portugal, boom, let's take all our money out. You want to watch people eat dogs in the streets and break into zoos to eat the zoo animals? Bam, son, you want to watch that on Skynet? Hell yeah, Dad. Anyways, Jokers energy drink is what I was talking about just a second ago. And when it comes to the fact that I was living in my parents' house and writing my novels, anyways, the 6th one's coming out really quick. I'm just going to tell you about it. The 6th book is coming out December 1st. So go ahead and do the pre-orders and pick it up at Barnes & Noble. It's going to be on Amazon, eBay, all that fucking shit from CreateSpace.com. I've been on that damn engine for the last 6 years. I have 5 books out, mostly poetry collections and some short stories. It's mostly poetry, but I'm going to be getting away from the poetry format, like what I was telling Dr. Book at work 2 days ago. That it's something that I feel I need to get away from. I've been writing poetry for too long. Even though there was a guy who's my friend on this poetry website that I upload to. His name is Big Drew, and he has written his 732nd poem, and they're concise, well-versed, well-edited, and they're deep, like everything he puts out. There are some poets on there that have written literally like over 700, 800, 900 poems. Like, there's just some people online that they can just keep doing it, like after years and years. I think the max amount that I wrote, published and non-published, was about 300 poems, somewhere around there, 3 to 350. Not exactly sure what the exact number is, but it's somewhere in there. It's definitely not 400. I know that because I wanted to put out a best of mine, which was my goal in writing when something I decided, I think when I was like 15 or 16, that I wanted to write my own Leaves of Grass. Excuse me, that's by Walt Whitman. And for the Leaves of Grass book, it's 400 edited, written, and rewritten poems, and that's what I wanted to do. Not My Pleasures of the Damned, like Charles Bukowski, even though I did buy that book and read it when I was selling air conditioners. It took me about a week to read it, where it was just complete random mashup, because I don't even think he had a say in what poems are even going in there when it's his best of, and I don't think that's right. Anyways, so I would drink energy drinks I drink the Jokers. I would get them at Circle K and drink them as I'd be riding the novel. I was saying Charles Bukowski, never kidding. It looks like we are 30 minutes into this broadcast, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and upload the first 18 minutes of the show that I was telling you about before. So I'm going to go ahead and upload it and just see if you guys are going to listen to it or not. I mean, I don't know. The audio is a little bit screwed up on there, but anyways, continuing on. So that's the book. I actually didn't say the title. The book is called The Infant's Resurrected Dreams 30 by Stookie. So it's 2 titles. I don't know what it is about me making books with multiple titles. My very first one that I put out 6 years ago was called Cut My Sky Out, The Threshold of Black Ink, something, The Hold, I don't know, something like that. The book was frickin' terrible, let me tell you something. I would not suggest anyone to buy that one. It's literally a collector's item, and that's it. If you become a hardcore fan of me eventually, I don't know. I'm planning on, for every year that I live, some kind of book will come out, small or large. I mean, literally 2 years ago when I was dating my ex-girlfriend from Phoenix, if you would think about the fact of all the writing I got done in that time span, being that I was working at a grocery store, fucking Safeway, and then after that I wasn't doing anything for a long time, of all the times I went over there and lived at her apartment with her friends for 3, 4, 5 days at a time, all the writing that I got done over there, you think it would be more than 3 poems, 3 short stories. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I was working on those books, though. I was working on the novels, and like I said, it didn't work out. But that's just how the ball crumbles, I guess, as a feller once said. Now I'm going to talk about what's been going on this week, going on at work, and I was going to say, actually, that the job has been easy this week, but no, it never really is. That's the fun thing about working at a hospital. It's not exactly it's not exactly something that, it's more of a calling. I would say it like that. I would put it like that. One of the coworkers that I told while at my lunch break, I said I've held about 27 jobs before this one, and I'm only 30 years old. So, and I haven't been working since I was 2, okay? That's just a whole lot of odd jobs, a whole lot of missed opportunities, a whole lot of bullshit. 6 of those were at a call center. I count one of those jobs as me writing, so, I mean, that's the longest thing I've done in my life it's about to be 6 years of being published on a third-party website where literally anybody can get published, so, I've been ashamed of the fact that I've been on CreateSpace. I've been on CreateSpace for so fucking long. I mean, not to bash them or anything because they haven't been putting out my content, but at the same time, it's just been kind of, bullshit. Like, you have to pay for your stuff to get pushed or for it to be looking like a legitimate book. You have to do all that yourself if you don't have the money for that. We're talking about you throwing down about $200-300 to put out a book. So when the publishing house like Penguin or City Lights or whatever actually does all that shit for free because they have faith in you, they don't have fucking faith in anybody on that stupid website. I'm not gonna say fuck CreateSpace. But I don't hate them. I don't like them. It's like a job or your wife. Writing's a bitch until you marry a third party, as an old feller used to say. What else has been going on this week? I didn't talk about my job. I had to roll a lot of linen, had to do a whole lot of shit. Now, let's go back to the Joker thing, because that's the energy drinks that I used to buy. Here and there, I would get Rockstar sometimes. Back when I first got onto YouTube, it's called the Energy Drink Reviewer. So, back when I was making, I don't know. So, anyways, for some reason, my phone just randomly turned off and turned back on, so now I'm recording a 4th part to this for some reason. For some reason, the phone didn't allow me to record more than 5 minutes, but okay, anyways, let's continue on here, because I still have another 40 minutes until I go to the gym. Anyways, we're talking about Joker energy drinks. Energy Drink Reviewer, or Energy Drink Reviews, that was my old channel on Facebook. It was my very first channel, and that's when I used to upload CTTW ministry videos, what I used to do, where I do what I call the mini bite-sized sermons. So, take what you will with that. This was back in 2011, too, so I've been watching YouTube since the year it came out, 2004, 2005, I don't know when exactly it came out, I don't remember. Used to watch Battlegrounds or Newgrounds or something in Ebong's World. Those, nasty websites. That was the websites that my friends would show me when we were going to high school together. But anyways, what does this have to do with my job? Okay, so I had to roll a whole lot of linen. Working in a hospital, it's not exactly fun. It's not. It's more of a thing that's like it's really a calling. It's really a calling card. It's not something that you would want to. It's not something that I would say that you would want to do for a career. Like if I went to a class and talked to a bunch of kids, maybe after doing a poetry reading or something, I would tell them, no, do not go to school to be a nurse. Don't go to school to be a scrub tech after you graduate high school. Even to become a doctor, man, I'm not even too sure about that because most of them that I work with are on call. So being on call seems like it's a huge pain in the ass because your phone literally can ring at any point during the week. It's for money. That's not why I'm there personally. I feel I have a moral obligation to these people, the patients. Chuck Stu does come up here on the show sometimes, is very mean-spirited, but when even listening back when I'm sober to the show, and I think, man, why did I say that? That was a little messed up. That was a little jerked up. Maybe I should have made my words different or something like that because that wasn't too good. That wasn't too friendly. I honestly do care. This whole thing is just a big joke. I'm one of those people that just can't take things that seriously in life. I don't know if it's because I've just been divorced from myself for a really long time. In my lifetime, I've had 5 therapists, but anyways, we'll get into that in a different episode. This one's only got an hour, damn it. Okay, we're already at the fucking 38-minute mark. So, I would not suggest for anyone to become a nurse unless you were called to do it. Unless you really have a passion. You really have a passion for helping people, and you are very self-sacrificial. You are just one of those people that can just go and keep going, even if you have a family, because that job will suck you dry. They are dicks. These people are leeches that work there. We're talking about evil wickedness. And I worked at a solstice too, what is it called? So yeah, anyways, I actually don't remember what I was saying there because my phone cut off again. It cut off again at the 3.5 minute mark. So, anyways, what I was talking about was becoming a nurse or becoming a scrub technician or something, becoming a doctor, whatever. You have to have a really strong desire and a passion for helping people. And when it comes to Chuck Stu show here, I was actually having a conversation with a woman that I'm going to start dating, I think. Not really sure after today because of the conversation we had, where it kind of came up a little sketchy of something she was asking me, where I was like, okay, is this a woman? Is this a man? What's going on here? We've been talking for 3 weeks and there's still no date scheduled and she doesn't have anything on social media. It's just a little sketchy. But anyways, Chuck Stu show. I'm very passionate about people. I want to help people. Like what she was saying, we were talking about, I think she asked me a question of, do you have a big heart? Do you care about things passionately or something? I don't know, she asked me something like that. I said, yes, I've been told that I have a big heart. A lot of the times I think I don't because of me making the show and doing and saying certain things that I do that surprisingly don't get me actually in that much trouble, even though I think I deserve to be in trouble for certain awful or wicked or bad things that I say. I cuss a lot, but and say things that's on my mind. I was just blowing up about Antifa. That's justified. That's different. It's like that dude who shot his grandfather in the face and then he buried him, this old guy he was living with, and his best friend that, looked like fucking the band Motley Crue. They buried his grandfather in the tomato patch in the backyard. It's like it was justifiable homicide. So not a lot of times, but sometimes I do feel justified in my hatred. Anyways, I don't know if that's going to be corrected by God or not. I don't know. We'll see in the future. But anyways, I've been told that I have a big heart. That's what I've been told by people. That's not me saying that about myself. My mother and several other people in my past have said that about me, so we're going with it. But anyways, when it comes to that kind of job, week after week, there's some bullshit somewhere, something happening. This doctor's 3 hours late. This person completely fucked up on the instrument tray. This person grabbed the wrong instruments. This person, it's a plethora of problems. You could literally have 100 different problems in a month of working at a hospital or a surgery center. Something that involves being around doctors and nurses and scrub techs. It's something that I would not suggest unless you have a big heart for it and you can sacrifice. That's just how I personally feel about that. It's not like, I mean, back when I was in California, I remember one time my father actually picked me up from the church service. It was called 613, and I was a door guy there. I handed out the pamphlets for what was going to happen that night at it was a mega church that was, I don't know, non-denominational / charismatic. But anyways, he picked me up, and I was talking about how I should have gone to school to become a librarian. And library science degree is only 2 years, except for the fact, because he also told me he wanted to do that instead of working on people's taxes for fucking H&R Block. He didn't want to do that with his life, but he ended up doing it for the last, 30, how long has he been doing it for? Like 32, 33 years that he's been doing people's taxes.
Well, Chuck, Stu, don't say things like that. You shouldn't say stuff like that. That's a little too controversial.
Hell yeah. My coworker gave me chicken that she didn't want to eat because she wasn't feeling good on Wednesday. So I just threw that bitch in the microwave for 2 minutes, and I just did 10 push-ups. I'm going to do another 40 push-ups and 50 sit-ups within the next hour. I don't feel like going to the gym. I'm just going to stay in here because that's just the kind of guy I am. Anyways, what the hell was I talking about? My phone kept cutting off. Every time I'm trying to make one of these stupid videos for this fucking stupid channel, it's just for me to vent my frustrations, but I'm just getting more frustrated. I'm trying to sit here and watch a goddamn Robert Frank squats video episode 2 and see where I'm fucking up when I do squats, even though I don't like to do squats. At the gym or at home, I don't like to squat because I walk around so fucking much and I do so much fucking cardio at my job. I basically chalk it up. I mean, I get like 10,000 steps in a day before I get home at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, depending, because at times I have to do overtime at work. I'm sure all you people have experienced that scenario at one point in your life. Is you don't have to do overtime. It's a son of a bitch, and I hate doing it. Me and the doctor were actually venting to each other that we have called the Sean's Mom Boys with a Z because we love the movie ATL. Talking about how just stupid this job is and how we just want to move on with our lives, quit fucking working there, but we can't because we're getting paid too much money. They put golden shackles, as a feller once said, which was my brother's friend. What is his name? Khalid? I don't know. Golden shackles. They put golden shackles on him. He couldn't become what he wanted to become and become a stand-up comedian because he gets paid too much of his job doing, I don't know, what is it, internet security, or there's some bullshit, some building, I don't know. But working in a hospital, man, like, you get to the boiling point where you get so pissed off, you say, okay, that's it, this is the last day, I'm quitting, I'm not coming fucking back to this damn place on Monday. But they keep paying too good of money, that's the problem, and then at the very last moment when you think you're going to quit, you don't quit. It's just one of those kind of jobs, because you feel bad for the patients, you feel bad for not helping the doctor. Nope, never, I was going to say, I feel bad for the doctors, fuck a doctor, okay? Like a quarter of those guys that come into the job are only there to get paid. It's like what that dude said in Scarface, do not underestimate the other man's greed. How about the other doctor's greed? Because that's what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm feeling. I'm addicted to working out and going to the gym now, man. I'm trying to do that instead of drinking, but it looks like I'm doing two of those things at once because I got a fucking Dead Man Beer right here next to my Briscoe's Santa Fe style salad. Hear that? That's a salad right there with a chicken sandwich I'm going to make. I'm going to spread some hot sauce on that. Yeah, right here. I got some hot sauce. I got jalapeno mustard up in here too. What will that? I love that. I love that. You hear that? Yeah, I just squirted a whole bunch of the Tabasco on right on there. You ever do a Q&A with Chuck too? I'm going to tell you I love spicy foods. I get heartburn like a motherfucker. It's probably going to kill me one day. Eventually, it's going to kill me. But whatever, man. I'm like one of those gym brats, man. I ain't trying to be one of those guys like Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger on the movie Pumping Iron. I'm not trying to be that. I do it like while I listen to gospel rock music. I hate that kind of music, but I love the high that it gets me. I'm sure there's people out there that are thinking the same thing. Oh, Chuck, you shouldn't say that.
Hell yeah.
They don't know who we are. They don't know who I am. I told my friend, stop going to school to become a doctor. It's trivial. That's just trivia. Go hunt for Bigfoot. Make that your life's goal. At the end, when it's time to retire, you and your future or ex-wife, go look for Bigfoot. Put on the big 10-gallon cowboy hat, the white button-up shirt, and the brown khaki pants with the fucking pistol that's loaded. You go to the Oregon or Virginia mountains and you go hunt his ass. That's what I told him. And that man's name is Dr. Book. He's already a doctor, and I'm seeing the toll that it's taken on him and the other doctors that I work with. The true ones, the ones of the faith, the ones that care about the people so much, and it's just driving them down. It is just driving them to the point where it's like, dude, what are you doing? Or, ma'am, why? Why are you doing this to yourself, ma'am? A lot of these people don't even need help. You're fucking burning off anal warts here. That shit gets into the air, that you get into our throats, we could choke and die to death. I'm just looking out for your safety. I'm looking out for your best interest. And here's another thing. When I used to lift weights and bench press and do the leg squats at LA Fitness, I could not stand the music. They would play music in with the big-ass fans. You remember that? The big-ass fans inside there. Fuck all that horse shit. They would play the Meghan Trainor bullshit, Taylor Swift, just like at my job, or Adele, non-stop. Like, how the fuck is that going to pump you up to lift weights? There was one point, because, let me tell you something, my fireman friend, his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend now, cut it off with the bitch. He broke her Nintendo 64 and everything, so that's over. She was standing at the desk because she was the one that would scan everybody's tags in LA Fitness. Oh, have a nice workout. Have a nice workout. There was one point I got so pissed off because for some reason Dr. Book put on Simpsons classical music from episodes on my fucking RCA jukebox, wherever the fuck I was using at the time on my phone. And I had to take that shit off, and I'm like, who the fuck gets down to Maroon 5? That's not a complete asshole. I consider going up to her, if I don't hear Satyricon, or Dark Throne, or Millennium Bug, or if I hear fucking, I don't know, Mortification, Carpathian Forest, Burzum, or Behemoth, if I don't hear some black metal, I'm gonna bitch slap everybody in here. I mean, I bitch slap that 300-pound dude with the 6-packs and pecs in the corners that looks like the epitome of Thor. If Thor came back to life and Odin was really real, then he threw a thunderbolt down and shit, here he is at LA Fitness. But I'm gonna bitch slap this bitch kid next to me. That's what I should have said. There were so many times I was working out and the music is just so bad. Fuck super popular pop music, that bubblegum stupid shit. Like, there is pop music that I like. There's some pop music that I like that Japanese chick who put out a song, Cyber Stockholm Syndrome. I like some pop music. But if you're gonna play Adele, like, oh, come on, man, like, every fucking day. Just stop, dude. Stop. Or you play music from Dirty Dancing from the 80s because a lot of people were into fucking 80s music, but it's like the the gym, you better have an iPad. I used to bring in a CD player because I would see big guys and very attractive gym rats in there. They'd be bringing like the thing that they would attach to the shirts, or they would attach it to their arms, and the headphones would go up to the ears. I don't know if that was your phone or that was an iPad. I don't know. I never bought one. But I would bring in there a fucking CD player, and I would have it in my basketball shorts, and I'd be listening to mixtapes that I made on my fucking computer using damn fucking YouTube, because I couldn't afford to buy a damn record player at the time to buy goddamn vinyl records, or I couldn't buy the fucking shit and learn how to stream that shit from Tidal or whatever. I wasn't going to do that. Chuck's doing that life. If I could have walked in there with that talk thing that you put cassettes in and you listen to it like a cassette player, but you can talk into it, you know, from the movie Home Alone, hell yeah, I would have walked in there and started doing that shit. If I could have put a laser disc or a vinyl record on some shit, and I'm standing there running on the treadmill with a fucking record player, but the headphones are connected to my ears, hell yeah, Chuck Stu would do that shit. I'm vintage, dude. I'm vinyl. I am what you want to be. When your bitch looks at her husband or your boyfriend, and then they look at me like, man, this dude is fucking real as shit. Why am I with this guy? I have kids. I don't want him. He ain't got kids. What can I do to get with Chuck Stu? You don't got to do much, because I'm a gentleman. I'm a nice guy. I would tell you, no, go back to your kids. Go back to your husband. If you're a lesbian, you're living in sin. Come with me. That's how I would handle that. That's how I would handle that situation. This is what happens when you want Chuck Stu for an hour. I'm drinking a little bit. You hear that? That's dead man beer. That's dead man beer. Oh, I'm chugging shit. I'm doing 50 push-ups, 50 squat-ups, and I'm going to do 10 squats just to show y'all that I'm a real man. Back when I was dating my ex-fiance, when I was working out at the YMCA, I don't know what that machine is called, but you take this rope and you pull it downwards and then the weights come up. That machine, I used to lift, I would do, a set. I'd do a set of three times. Because the shit was heavy as hell, man. I would lift a whole stack of fucking plates, dude. Like, that's how I was back then. It would take 25 to 30 minutes for me to warm up. Like, 20, 25, sometimes 30 minutes just to do my warm-up, dude. I fell off so hard, I don't know why I stopped going to the gym. Oh, I know why, because I'm goal-oriented. That's why. I wanted to fight, and there was nothing to fight for. I play chess now. I play chess. Because Dr. What's his name at Superman Chiropractic, excuse me. Superman Chiropractic. After taking X-rays, he found out that there's some kind of bone that's pushing on the nerve inside of my neck in column, I don't know what, A2 and A3 or some shit. I don't know what the fuck he told me. I don't know what the columns are. What's that supposed to look like? I don't know. It was pushing on that, so basically he told me that if anyone punched me hard enough in the face and it would snap my neck back, I would go paralyzed. It wouldn't kill me. I would go paralyzed from the neck down. He said it's that fucking severe. The surgery is too dangerous to perform, is what he said. So no doctor ain't gonna touch that with a mile-high foot pole. I drink Fiji waters, I eat my chicken, I eat my bread, and I eat salads all the time. I mean, tomorrow morning, that's Friday, guess what that means? Keep 100 Conan. I put that shit on every single Friday when I wake up, and I listen to and I go to work, but the first thing I do is I go all the way to Starbucks because it's Friday, and I like to celebrate. I like to give myself things here and there because I hardly spend money on myself. Everything goes to fucking bills and it's bullshit. And I also do tithes and offerings. I'm basically paying my way into heaven at this point because of how bad of a job I'm doing at being a Christian. It's just got so ridiculously bad. Anyways, that girl never messaged me. Girl, Kimmy. It's 8:32 and she never messaged me back. Kind of makes me sad. Like, she's mad at me because I wouldn't give her money. Of course I'm not going to give you fucking money. Like, here. He's talking in slow motion, training legs. And we have the ability to work out and write poetry. And we can write short stories. We can do these things. We can avenge for our fallen brothers. We don't have, even though we keep being pushed to walk around in the vile inklings of the underworld, we don't have to do those things anymore. We don't have to do them if we don't want to do it. If you don't feel like doing